three.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. It is May 13th. This is Shelley Weeks here. I'm coming to you live via Zoom with a very full house. This is call number 2 of our Director Bound May 2020 series. And we may have some late folks join in the group. As per all of our cooking classes, if you come in after we get started, you get to do the dishes. Are we all in agreement? We're good? That's all right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to do that. All right. So if you are here on this call, you're a very special person. You were invited by your director to get the more you're looking for, and then a booking blitz, and then you accepted the invitation to our Director Bound series. This is call number 2, and we have the most amazing Michele Rossi as our special teacher tonight, and she's going to be sharing amazing wisdom. Michele has 24 years with Pampered Chef. She has $125 million, well, $1.25 million in sales. Is that better, Michele?
No, I like 125 million.
You like the 125 million
Yeah.
better? And she's an advanced director out of Southern California. And we are recording just a little bit of logistics for us. I noticed already that you guys have found the chat. And I want to encourage you to use the chat. We're going to be on the chat. And Michele's not going to be paying attention to it because she's going to be talking with us and sharing from her outline. But it is because there are so many of us in this Zoom room right now. It's really helpful to have the feedback. So if you use the chat, if you have a question, we'll make sure to feed those questions to Michele. But give us feedback, and when we're all done, we'll save that chat and I'll share it with you. So if she talks about something that makes you think of a resource, throw it into the chat, and that way we capture that all, we all benefit.
That's a good idea.
Sound good? Yeah. Okay. So with that, we're going to have you mute unless you're participating, in which case unmute. It's dinner time for many of us, kids, dogs, pets, all of it. So mute so that we can all hear until it's your turn to contribute, in which case unmute. Alrighty, Michele, take it away.
All right. Thanks for being here, you guys. This is a lot of fun. And, probably my biggest issue being here for 24 years is there's so much information in my head. I wish I could pour it into yours for good and for bad. But I'm going to cover a lot of ground today as far as bookings go. And hopefully you'll find some creative ways that line up with your personality, because there will be a lot of ways you think, that doesn't suit me, but you'll find other ways that do. So I have some little housekeeping questions here. How many of you are keeping your list going and are working from them and have gone back to people that, okay, Miss Jan, who else has done that? Those lists are money. So treat them like a...
Yeah, I'm going to mute Steve. Okay, go ahead, Michele.
There's Diane. All right. So first of all, I like to have somebody on my team share about she's going to give a little testimonial about how her business has changed. And I'm going to introduce you to Emma Ramlow. And Emma, you need to unmute. Okay, I'm going to tell you about Emma. She's been a consultant for a while, and she's always been sort of afraid to try new things. That jig went away last conference when the day before she decided, I'm going, and she got herself there to that very next day. So I want her to tell you the difference being on this group has made for her. So take it away, Emma.
Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm Emma, and I'm really nervous right now. I would like to let everyone know how it's helped me, because I've been very, very afraid of even starting virtual parties, just thinking I couldn't do it. And before I joined this group, now I have so much more information. I feel I have so much support behind me from my teammates, from you wonderful directors, and all your wisdom that you're imparting on us. And I just love that we're kind of in the same boat, but not, we're still holding each other's hands and helping each other on the way. So I don't feel like I'm super, super far behind and, you know, in the ocean. But I just want to thank you for inviting me to this group, because it's really built my confidence. I'm going to be having a recruit, actually. And I didn't even, you know, just because I presented the opportunity, which before this, I would have never done that, because I just would have thought that no way, there's nobody that would be interested. But there are so many people that are interested. And I have quite a few hosts that I'm setting up right now for parties. And I'm going to be starting a block virtual party. I'm just going to dive in.
Oh my goodness.
I started groups, and honestly, it's just because of the help of my friends. And I can consider, you know, my pampered chef friends and family. So
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the future of what my business is going to be.
Amen. So I'm so proud of you, Emma, because she's just, you know, I heard a long time ago, there are two kinds of people in this world: those who are afraid and those who are afraid and do it anyway. And she's definitely in the latter category. So we're just so anxious, looking forward to what it's going to look like in your business, you know, 5-6 months from now and beyond. How many of you can relate to what Emma shared about being a little afraid of getting this going on? So,
not a little, petrified. Petrified is the word.
Yeah. So let's talk about mindset here for a moment. You said you're here because you want to promote to director, and I'm going to assume most of you have a target date, and some of you will make that target date. Some of you may miss it this go round, but and that's all part of the mix. There's no expectations about you that you have to do something here, but think about what might be holding you back from achieving that goal. Who'd like to share 1 or 2 words? You're all muted. How about we could do charades about what you're nervous about?
I guess fear still, even though I'm a ham and I have no problem with virtual or talking to people, I think the fear of still asking people to join a business is really hard. And I stumbled across it today and then laughed and said, okay, you can tell I'm nervous, but I'm passionate about what I do. And that set the tone really well. But I think fear is still up in the forefront for me.
So if you think about this, you're afraid of?
Bothering them, forcing, and that's wrong. It's not afraid to ask. That's
well,
easy.
but let's not say it's wrong. Let's not say it's wrong. Let's just look at, we're going to talk about how to reframe that, because here's the thing, and this was said by somebody a long time ago, and it really is remarkably true, that the letters fear, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. And most of that fear is self-created and very limiting in your brain. I took some coaching courses, and you know, we have that little voice that says, don't do it, don't go forward, I'm afraid. And they name that little fear a gremlin. Everybody has gremlins. You want to do something and you get that fear because your little gremlin is saying, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But here's an interesting thing. The gremlin only says those things to protect you. So it might protect you from getting it, you know, from having, not saying the perfect words, by thinking somebody's going to say no, or somebody who's going to say, I never want to hear from you again. But the gremlin can only and always lie. So when you're getting that little gut feeling, just reassure your gremlin that you'll go into this together, and reassure that little part of you. Don't fight that part of you, because that just makes it bigger. Whatever you focus on gets bigger. So just hold your gremlin's hand mentally and say, we're going to walk to this together. I'm going to show you that we can be safe when we do this. It may sound funny, but it can work when you're really, you want to pick up that phone and your stomach's turning and your palms are sweating. It can help you get back with that. So taking action is a big cure for overriding that fear. Because here's what's interesting. I did a thing called the ropes course. One of the things we had to do was rappel down a mountain that was 110 feet tall. So they get us all hooked up. And they had us go to the edge of this big mountainous rock, and we leaned back. So we're perpendicular, or we're parallel to the ground, 110 feet down. All the fear was right before we went over. Once we were walking down that mountain, it was exhilarating. But before we took that action, we were terrified. So I've learned that all that fear is right here in front of you. Once you jump off that ledge, it really makes a difference. Now I'm gonna have you guys do something really quick on the side in the chat. Jot down what your fears are. It could, whatever that fear is, jot that down, and we'll address those in a little bit. So one of the fears might be, I don't know how to recruit people, or I don't know how to get bookings. And you can reframe that by saying, when I ask enough people, I get bookings. Not everybody will book, but if I ask enough people, I'll get those bookings. And you can also ask yourself, who do you know? Because we all know people who are wildly successful in this business from the get-go, and we also know people that never get off the ground. So start thinking about what might be the difference, and ask yourself, what is she telling herself about getting those bookings? What 3 actions would she take every day to get those bookings? And start pulling those answers. They're actually inside of you already, but until they are your own answers, it can be a challenge for somebody just to say, do this, do that. Because if it's not your answer, you can argue with it all day long. But think about, oh my gosh, so this gal's doing well in her business right away. I wonder what she's doing every day. And start jotting those things down, and start thinking about resources you have to get those answers if you get stuck. So what resources do we have? We have each other. You have your director. You have Dash. You might even, now you can't take people to lunch right now, but you might find somebody that you can connect with online, somebody you see in one of the virtual party pages, for instance, and private message them and say, I have a question. I have a question for you. Would you, could I have some of your time? And I will tell you, there are people in this business that will give you their time. Sharon Zellen, who's a big kahuna, she doesn't earn a penny from me, but we were on a call together, and she private messaged me and said, would it help you get past this if I called you and told you what I did? She was on the phone with me for 45 minutes. And man, that's the beautiful thing about Pampered Chef. We are a sharing community. All right, so jot down, okay, Drea said failing rejection. So what could we say about, how could we reframe rejection? Anybody have an answer? You can share out loud if you want to.
I put in the chat, but I said not ready for the opportunity.
Okay, that's what you said, you're not ready for the opportunity?
That would be, instead of calling it rejection, the person's not ready for the opportunity.
Okay, so what might somebody say in that case? Let me get rid of this on the screen.
How about if somebody said, I'm not ready for the opportunity, and I don't know, because I haven't recruited, but I think what I would want to hear is, I understand, I know exactly how you feel, but how about I get back with you in the next 30 days and we can go over it. I don't know if that's the right thing to say or not, but sometimes putting it in the future for them may make them feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, and one of the things is, I'm just curious, I know this isn't for you right this minute, but if you were to say yes, well, why would somebody say yes? Why might somebody say yes? And I know this isn't for you right now. And also, here's another thing. If somebody says no, you can check that no off, because remember, we want to kind of go for no, because we know more people are going to say no than say yes. So every no that you get, 2 things will happen. You'll start to, like you're saying, Jen, you'll start to use the words, you'll start to know people and kind of who they are personality-wise. And you'll understand that if you're asking enough people, you should get way more no's than yeses. And the simple way to end that conversation easily is say, oh, I hope that's not no forever, because I really think you'd be fun to work with. I think you'd be good at this because whatever the reason, you know a lot of people, you're way more organized than I am, or you're so much fun, you'd really liven up the team. Do you mind if I call you somewhere down the road when maybe there's a company offer that I think you might like to hear about? And then put them on your list. Unless they say, I never want to hear your voice ever again in my whole life, you can reach out. And not that I've ever had that happen to me. Okay. All right. So does that make sense? Just that reframe can make a big difference. The rejection shows up as no, right? Is that pretty much the rejection? I make the offer, they say no. It's the same thing. You've pat yourself on the back because you've gotten a no. And this is a numbers game. It doesn't mean that the people are just numbers to you. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means you can check that off because you're taking that action. And once you take the action, that fear starts to go away and you actually get excited about what you're doing. Okay, so, and the thing about bookings are what are going to move you closer to finding those recruits as well. Alrighty, let's see. Okay, another thing we can talk about is affirmations. I love affirmations. How many of you have heard of, how many of you ever had affirmations? Okie doke. So they say to state your affirmation in the positive as if it's already happening. I enjoy a thriving business with a great income. Moving to directorship is so easy. Okay, how many of you, when you've tried to do an affirmation, your brain goes, that's not true. Anybody ever have that happen? Okay, Christine, good. All right, I heard a really awesome thing. There's a gal named Dana Wild who has a company called Train Your Brain. And she says, when your brain says that, we're going to talk about your brain in just a second. How many of you have had a friend who said to you, I love you, but do they really love you? Why was the but a qualifier? So whenever you say but, it negates everything you said up front. So how about this? I used to find it difficult to share the opportunity with people, but now I find it's pretty exciting. I used to think it was hard to get bookings in my virtual parties, but now I'm amazed at how easy it is. Can you feel the energy in your body being different? I do when I said those words out loud. So this is a time you want to use the but word in your own head. I don't mean like a but word, but ours is recording. It's official, I'm a weirdo. Okay, so affirmations, what kinds of, let's talk about affirmations, and maybe you guys could put some on the side here with that little but thing in there. And we can, because we're probably gonna get some really cool things. Alrighty, I'm finding my notes here. Okay, ooh, I got that part down here. And for another thing, if you guys are afraid that there aren't enough people to ask about these different things, because some people say, oh, I've asked everybody. Really? Everybody? Business is everywhere people eat. So that should be helpful. All right, so now let's talk about how you can use your host to help you get bookings. How many of you are doing things with your host right now on your virtual parties that are getting you bookings? Okay, good, good, good. So there are different things you can do, but I'm going to tell you, first and foremost, how are you getting the wish list? Now, I know some people direct their host to their dashboard and they have them type in what they want, or they have them text it to them. I'm not a fan of that, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, it's efficient, but I think if you're not talking to your host, you're missing an opportunity to really cement that relationship. So when she says, oh, I'd like a garlic press and a close and cut. Really? Is anybody going to do the work to get two things they could have easily purchased? So you can say things like, okay, so I'm expecting 10 more things on your wish list. Don't look at prices. That's not what a wish list is about. What else is on your wish list? well, and they'll say, so how about the air fryer? How about the quick cooker? I'm doing it's kind of fast. What do you think about that? Well, yeah, but it's kind of expensive. Remember, I'm here to help you get those things. And you can talk to her about how many people are you responsible for feeding in your family every day. Find out what their needs are. And then you can help them construct a relevant wish list. Are they cooking for a big family? Are they empty nesters? Are they cooking for one? Those are very specific needs. And so what this is going to help you do is construct a show where she feels comfortable about what you're doing, because you have taken her needs, her wishes to heart. So it's not just about wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, getting sales and moving on. It's about starting at the very beginning, setting the tone. And how many of you have your host go live to introduce why she's having a party? Or even type it if she's not comfortable going live. Hi, I'm Michele Rossi. I love Pampered Chef, and I've been using their products for years. And now that we're all locked in, we're probably stuck with horrible cooking tools. We're making the same recipes over and over, and we're bored. I'm doing this virtual party, blah, blah, blah. And Michele is our consultant. She's going to answer questions and share lots of fun things with us. Boom, instant, God, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, she's got her guests included. She's talking to them. It's not you. So you get like her stamp of approval to interact with her friends. Yeah.
Michele, I have a suggestion. I know because you talked about having your host go live, which a lot of them are afraid to do and, show their faces or things like that. So in my virtual block party that I have going right now, one of my hosts, I asked her what products she had at home. She told me stoneware. So she says, oh my gosh. I said, do me a favor, take a picture of yourself holding the stoneware and send me a picture of it, and we'll post that. And then that led me into posting about stoneware, the videos and things like
Perfect.
that. So she posted it, but then because I asked her to post it, she actually made the taco ring for dinner that night because she wanted to post that too. So she sent me a video of her original stoneware from 20 years ago, a picture of her taco ring that she made for dinner. Then she added a picture of cookies, chocolate chip cookies that she baked it. So it was a free post. And of course, because it was her posting it, not me, and it was a live, like a realistic picture, not something that they can tell that was pulled off the internet or whatever. It got the most comments and people were loving it because they got to see the actual host. She didn't want to show her face, but she still showed the actual item, and it worked out great. Awesome. So that might be a suggestion. Our hosts are a little hesitant to go live or to talk or to do the video, and we're all learning those virtual things, but that was a really good idea, was to do just.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to that in a second. Most hosts are not comfortable doing Facebook Live, but they can still type. I give them an outline they can follow, and they can type that information in there. So Rachel, when you asked her if she was interested in the business, what did she say?
I got the usual, I'm furloughed right now. I have a full-time job, the typical answer, but it was my first time asking. So
I was going to say, because I knew you did, I knew you would.
I added her to my list, and I will ask her again.
Okay. Did I talk about this last time? Okay. I'm gonna jump ahead for something because, like I said, I'm a little ADD, and I want to strike on this while the iron's hot. And Rachel knows you ask 5 times. So let's say during my party, I'm gonna, even if the hostess says no, or she's kind of, yeah, no, I'm not sure. I post in there after I've talked about what you get when you host a show. I would love to work with Rachel. She has been so much fun, hasn't she? And I love the taco ring that she posted and the cookies. She would make the best consultant. So I tell you what, if she decides to join my team, how many of you would host a party to help her get started? You can post it here, or you can private message me. Okay, so let's say you have 3 people private message you, or go on the page and say, oh, I'd love to help her get started. So you've asked her a few more times, and now when you're closing the party, you say to her, okay, so where are we on the whole thing about you joining my team? And she'll say, oh, I'm not sure. And I said, okay, here's the deal. You have 3 friends that want to help you with your first few shows. I'm going to suggest that you do those 3 shows as a consultant, because they didn't want to do them with me. They want to do them with and for you. So here's what's going to happen. Those 3 shows are probably worth $300 to $600 in commission. If you don't do them, that money goes away. Could you use that money in your budget? But I think the thing about they didn't want to do them with me, so I'm not going to have that business. And unless you do it, that's money you're throwing away. And so you don't want to tell your friends you're not doing a party, do you? No. All right, but I had to put that one in, because that's frankly something I've forgotten to do lately, and it really reaps benefits. Okay, so bookings. Let's talk about the actual show when you're doing bookings. You want to do what's called needs-based selling. You want to provide reasons that people would need your products, would need to book a show, might need to be a consultant. So if you're going to do a video, or even the beginning of your party, state your purpose. What are you there for? What are you hoping that what are you there to share? What are you hoping they get from it? And that will also help you build trust and relationships with the people there. You can give a brief description, and this is where I kind of think a consultant video at the beginning is a good idea. You can talk about what you're going to share, like, so maybe you're doing a what's the easy weeknight dinners show, or you're doing a wine, cheese, and chocolate. Talk about you're going to do that. What you want to do is you want to be a problem solver, and many times you're solving problems they've not thought that they had. So for instance, back when stoneware was our hallmark product, because we didn't have the cookware and all that stuff, I would ask questions. How many of you bake biscuits on a cookie sheet? They look beautiful golden brown on top. What do you find the bottoms? Burnt, hard. Do the ones in the middle look the same as the outside? No. Can you tell which one? Now if you go to a bakery, what do their biscuits look like? Oh, they're nice and soft and squishy all around. Wouldn't you like to have that in your kitchen? Here's how. And then the stoneware rides in on the white horse and is the hero of the day. So you want them to start thinking, that is what happens to my biscuits. So you can use those, you can provide those solutions in different ways, from needing more recipes to eating healthier to not having time at the end of the day to cook a good meal. So how many of you got your little cast iron skillets? Mine just came today. Oh my God, they are so stinking little and cute. Oh my gosh. So, as we're getting farther into the month, I think it's a fun thing to do things like make a little dessert, like a little cookie in there, maybe put some ice cream on top and cherries and sauce, and okay, I'm having a food fantasy, I'm sorry. And then maybe you could make a little frittata in one, and you could do it right in the air fryer. And because you're gonna have people somebody will like desserts, somebody will like the savory dish, and ask on your party, how many of you choose the dessert? How many of you would choose the savory one? Now, what you're gonna do, let's say somebody says, oh, I love the dessert. You're gonna private message them. Oh my gosh, Emma, I love dessert too. I think we should eat that first before dinner. So do you agree with me? Yeah, I do. Does your family like dessert? What does your family like, desserts or savory stuff? Oh, how many people are you cooking for every day? Oh, you've got 3 kids and a husband. Oh my God. Well, you really have 4 kids if you have 3 kids and a husband. So what products did you see so far we talked about you think would help you feed your family? Oh, that air fryer looks so fabulous. Oh my gosh. Wouldn't you love to get, and in June it's coming back, so you can say this for June. Oh my gosh, in June, I could probably help you get that for free pretty easily. So what do you say? Let's get your show set up. I've got openings in mid-June, whatever it is. Maybe they say no. Maybe they say, I didn't think about that. But you're gonna private message people, and you're gonna find out about their lives and how you can help them. So maybe you don't say right then, we'll book a show, but you just start chatting with her, and then down the road when something else happens, you can say, all right, so here's another thing I showed you that would help feed your family. Don't you think it's time we set up your own show and I can help you get those things free and a big discount? So just get used to talking to people, because if you were doing a live show, you'd probably be saying those things. You'd probably be paying attention to that. So at live shows, it would be somebody comes in the room and you hear her talking. I almost didn't make it because I was late at work and didn't think I'd get here in time. And I had to stop at McDonald's and feed my family. So you can ask, how many people do takeout? And somebody will say that, and then later on you can say, oh, Emma, you're the first one that said you're going to take out more often than you like. This next product, I have you in mind. Watch how this unfolds. Then Emma says something, and you can private message Emma. Oh my gosh. Oh, here's what I did lately. Somebody was so dang funny. I private messaged her and said, you are not getting away from me. You're doing a party because I'm not willing to stop laughing. So find something about them that, it's not the usual having the right little polished line. So how many of you are giving your host a goodie for getting you bookings? Shelley, what are you doing?
You asked me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a booking challenge. It came from Stephen Joseph, and message sends out that thing that says, hey, I've got a little challenge for you. If you get 3 bookings off your party, you'll get a half price on each one. I'll put an extra treat on your order, and if you're willing to, if you're willing to message 10 people from your party that you think would be good hosts, I'll give you a message to send, and you wait until they answer. And then when they say, oh, okay, good, and go, by the way, I'm going to share who I think, I'd be even willing to give you a list of people from your party that I think would be good hosts. Mm-hmm. Well, everybody you've been having those conversations with, you go through the whole party.
Perfect.
Anybody who's doing that, you give them that list.
Yep. And then, Rachel, you're muted. You're going to have to use sign language.
Sorry. Shelley, do you mind telling what kind of gift you actually give? We're all kind of stumped on.
Oh, sure, no problem. Actually, in my little, somebody nudge me when we're done. I'll share the script for it, and it says, I'll pay your shipping and put a prize on your thing. And if you get more bookings, I'll put a bigger prize. And then you can kind of just decide. I had a gal who did a $2,200 online party a couple weeks ago. And at the very end of the party, she was pulling out all the stops and getting bookings. One of her girls signed, one of her friends signed. So she took some of the bookings and I did. She got like 5 bookings. And so I just went into her order and and she had a ton on her order. I just put a consultant gift of like $15. So I didn't necessarily add something else because she was ordering everything. But you can be flexible with it.
Shelley, were you on the call with Grace Bott the other day?
Thank you.
I wasn't, no problem.
Okay.
I was not.
So we have a call with Sherry Carr, and quite often we have trainings with her. Maybe that was on. Anyway, maybe it was Marie Friday.
It's so hard to keep up.
Yeah, I know. There's a gal named Grace Bott who was always only going to be a cooking show consultant. Heavy hitter, lots of sales, doing well. March, she had 15 or 20 bookings that all went away because they were closed down. And she was freaking out. So she figured, okay, I better dig into the virtual world. So she started lining things up in March. In April, she did 22,000 in sales. And she's now hooked on virtual parties. What she does is she tells her hosts, she does a $25 gift. What she does and pick $25 in free products. Now, what you want to do is not do it applied to the 60% off or the half off, because when you buy $25 worth of products for somebody, you put it on her party, you pay for it at her discount, and then you're going to get commission on it. So that 25 turns into like $12 or $13, and that rest of it's a tax write-off. And she doesn't wait for those parties to be held. She gives it right away. She said she qualifies those bookings first. She will talk to the people and say, okay, what day are we starting your show? This is what I have. So it's not like you're chasing your tail afterwards.
So can I ask, Michelle, so what you're saying is she doesn't wait. That right. It's already included. Okay. All right. I just wanted to be clear.
Yeah. And a nice thing is when you get a wish list from somebody, you kind of have an idea what those products might be. you know. Maybe she wants the pancake shaker bottle, that's $23, and throw in a season's best, that's $25. Or give her a, you know, an assortment. You can make those suggestions, but having a wish list is really nice. And you can say, oh my gosh, you have that brownie pan on your wish list. Is that a good free choice for you? So, and like Shelley says, we've got the words for you to copy. You don't have to make any of this stuff up. So that's really kind of a cool thing.
There's graphics also in marketing imaging for like, I only need 2 more hosts, or I only need 1 more host.
Yes, yes.
I've used those, and I've posted and actually gotten people, because they want to help their friends. So I've gotten bookings from that, like, oh, you only need 1 more and then you get free shipping. I'll host a party for you if it means you get.
So Grace, there's a training page that I'm not sure if you guys are aware of. I keep forgetting to talk. I talk about it and then I forget about it. So you might want to write this down. It's pcteamtraining.com. And there's a password for it. It's 2020 vision, no spaces, V is capitalized. And if I...
My computer blanked out. I'm sorry. It's what again for what?
PC team training, all, you know, no spaces. And then the password is 2020 vision, capital V, no spaces. And here's what's nice. Grace was talking about that she, if you don't know Marna Ross, she's another heavy hitter with the company, big recruiter, hilariously funny. And she posted on this page the words she uses for host coaching. Grace posted the words she uses. Brittany Sunday has a larger expanded version of how she runs her virtual parties. So you almost don't need me and Shelley, but we would cry if we couldn't talk to you on a regular basis. So I'm going to suggest you go in there, because we can tell you all that stuff, but until you go through and see it, and you can review it and review it and review it, and then put your own words in there, it's so powerful. I was looking at it before I got on here with you guys today, and I was really amazed at what, let's see. Okay, here's another booking idea. How many of you have done a Feeding America disaster relief party? Oh, thank you, thank you. So you take, you know, if the party was at least $600, I had one that was about $1,100, but say it was $1,000, they get 30%. That was $300, add a 0 at the end. So that party provided 3,000 meals. So let's say you had a guest who spent $100, that would be 300 meals. So I would go on there and say, oh my gosh, thanks to Rachel, who provided 300 meals to hungry Americans. Because if you guys watch TV, oh God, it's heartbreaking. How many people with children especially are so hungry. So what I did on this show, I said, your purchases help, but maybe, and the host, as a host, I won't get, I'm as a fundraiser, so there aren't host reward products. The money all goes to Feeding America. Now, as I'm doing this parties, you see products you might like to have. If you host a regular party and get the host rewards, I will donate 100 meals for every party, which is $10. I will donate 100 meals, which sounds bigger than $10. So I got bookings off that show. And then all I did for, on somebody's order, I added a $10 roundup donation. And that took care of it. And then I get that deduction as well. So people like to help each other. They like to give back. And if you can offer a way that they could do that easily, it's a big plus. All right, so let me see. I have all these beautiful notes here. So does anybody, okay, does anybody have any questions so far about what we shared about getting bookings? All right, and as I said, once your May is filled, start moving to June. Oh, Rachel, hi, you're muted.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing for a question to the group, for people that are doing group block parties, I have so I got 3 bookings off of the block party that I'm currently doing, but yay, but 2 of them are like really close friends because they're in this, you know, they got invited by the same host. So the girl that booked, she actually said, can we not do them together because they feel like it's the same group of friends because they're all in this group, you know, group block party together. So 2 of them want to book. So do you guys have an issue or come across, or what are your solutions? Like I was waiting, like, do I have one of them wait a couple, or do I just go ahead and book them both at the same time?
I would honor their wishes if they think like they'd be inviting exactly the same people. But one thing that are, how good of friends are they?
No, that's literally, they run in the same circles because they're
okay. But I have a question. Let's say one of them had a daughter that was getting
Shelley
married.
had an answer.
What's that?
Shelley had an answer.
Okay, I was going to ask you one thing. Let's say that one of their kids was getting married. Would they have all the same people at the wedding?
According to them, yes, because
okay.
they live together.
Then I would
together,
stagger it.
And their Facebook friends list is pretty much the same people. I mean, I did mention, like, yes, you guys have different family members, but it was more that, like, you know,
Christine.
Emma and Yvette are having the party, and they invite you to the party. You're friends with them both. Do I order from Emma or do I order from Yvette? So that was the question that they were asking. Yeah. Shelley, you have
that's a great question. And honestly,
okay,
they're going to follow your lead. Okay. So if you say to them, honest to goodness, you guys maybe all know the same people, but there are people that your friends know and they're going to invite them. And I would hate to have 2 weeks from now, just one of you cooking with your air fryer and the other one has to wait.
Okay.
Believe me, I do block parties and I have people come week after week after week. They order, they can make their own freaking adult decision about whose party they order on, and they will be having a blast. Okay. I put all the hosts in a host group and they are helping and engaging and interacting with each other. I'm hardly doing anything. Christine can tell you the exact same thing. Unmute, Christine, and tell us.
Well, I was just going to say, because even if you do, like, say you stagger them, they're going to invite the same people. So you run into the same problem if you're in separate parties. And it's like, what if they all buy from this one party? And then the next week, the next one has them. And like, well, I just bought from so-and-so.
Well, here's one thing. Pampered Chef has, years ago, they did a survey and they found that people would have to attend 8 parties to get everything they wanted from Pampered Chef. And then we come out with new stuff with totally throws them off again. So, that's just something to consider. But I'm not doing block parties yet. See, my team's doing block parties, but I'm not doing them yet. So that's why Shelley had to answer that question.
I'm going to interject. Are you guys on Saturday Success Calls on the group? Okay, somebody who is, go to Saturday Success Calls Facebook group and go look at the recordings, because every Saturday they have a speaker. And when they invited me, I taught on block parties. And I have had that was months ago. It was a long time ago. I can get the date for you if you want. But in fact, I am now scheduled to be their speaker again next Saturday, not this Saturday.
On which topic?
My topic is going to be, I'm going to be doing that same training I did for you guys, where I showed you my 25 contacts and how to get bookings out of that, how to do the follow-ups. That went so well. I did it for my team and I did it for you guys. And now they want me to do it for the Saturday Success Call. But go on there. They have an entire listing, every date, speaker, and topic. And here's the recording. And go back, and it's like 20 minutes. It's compressed, but I will teach you how to have block parties.
Thanks for that, because I only knew about Coffee Talk.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. It's there's
cool.
2 of them that I'm aware of: Saturday morning trainings and Coffee Talk. Okay, I'm muting.
I'm gonna give you one more little tidbit here. Oh, does somebody else want to say something?
This is Kelly. 12-minute warning. 12-minute warning.
Oh, thank you. Then I this will go fast, so maybe I should say it slowly. Okay, use your hostess to post on the party. That's going to lend credibility. That was the word I couldn't think of before. That's going to lend the whole party credibility because it's coming from her. So the more posts you can give to your host, and like Rich was talking about having her hostess make the taco ring, and that's just awesome. But you can tell your host, here's your post for the day. Be sure to include the picture and comment done when you've done it. make sure you post your item you'd want to out of the catalog if money wasn't a factor. So here's what you tell the host. She's going to post, if money were no object, what product would you be ordering? What product would you want in your kitchen? Now the hostess, and see, because everybody's going to have a different product they'd want to post there, just have the host post her own picture that she would like to have in her kitchen. Maybe maybe she needs to have you give her that, ask her what that product will be, give her the picture, and then she can post it. So then when somebody says, oh, I want the air fryer, I want the double burner grill and press set, you know what to do. You can talk about that product, those products. Here's why I like it. Here's a recipe. But you're going to private message that person and say, you will love that double burner grill set. There's only 2 in my family, but that thing stays on my stove because we use it all day long. Would you like to hear more about it? How many people are you cooking for? How do you like your cookware at home? Is it doing everything you want it to do? How is it for cleanup? What kinds of things do you do with it? Here's a couple of things I like to do with it. You'd like to hear more. And then you're chatting with her. And so it becomes very simple to say, either if it's in May, my company wants to give you $177 to get that. Would you like them to help pay for most of it for you? Or if it's a June booking, I want to put that in your kitchen for free. Can I help you do that? Here are my June dates I'm available. When people understand what's in it for them, so be really clear on how to, another thing, be really clear on what the host reward program is. So if I called you at 3 in the morning and you answered the phone, I said, what does a host get for $750 in sales? You could rattle it off. If you don't know what that is, you don't have anything to sell. Because first and foremost, that's the foundation, that's the framework of why people want to have parties. That makes sense? All righty. So, oh my gosh, we have a few minutes left. So any other questions?
First off, give it up for Michelle.
Oh, thank you, Shell.
Yay! There's somewhere here in Zoom, there's a little thing where you can raise your hand, you can applaud, you can thumbs up. Somebody find that for us. That's so cool. Awesome.
And I like the sharing we had today too. That was really awesome.
It was, you did a great job pulling everybody in to get lots of thanks. Look at all those waves. That's super. You guys know where to find them. I don't know where to find them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up. So Michelle covered a lot and I was taking super copious notes. I took some of my notes and dumped them into the chat when I thought it was relevant, but I'm going to give you a few minutes to ask her a question to get her to clarify anything that she might have gone through a little fast.
I forgot one important thing till I saw Star's little background.
Okay.
The little mini catalog for summer is on the website. You can email that around to people. Copy the link, Facebook it, or email it. Start getting it out now. And then
I missed what you said was on
the summertime mini catalog is available now. And if you don't know where to get it, you go to Explore, scroll down to Training, scroll down to this season's resources, scroll down to the summer interactive mini catalog.
Can you say that a little slower?
Yeah, or probably not.
Or okay, better yet, if someone can type it in the chat for us.
Oh, there we go.
Whoever knows how to access it. See, okay. I am practicing the skill of delegating. So the other thing
Thank you. You're doing well. I like that. Women type it?
Not always, but lost my train of thought. So we're going to give you a chance to be asking Michelle questions with the last 7 minutes that we have, but also Eve gave me a really good tip. I want every single one of you to be thinking about what your, oh my gosh, best tip was that you learned from Michelle today. And I want you to put those in the chat while we're answering questions. So we're multitasking. And of course, if someone puts your comment first, you have to come up with something else. That would be my rule. Okay, who has a question? You would need to unmute yourself if you have a question. I'm seeing Cindy said this.
I'm having a debate, and I've talked to my fellow consultants about this because I did have one person comment. It was actually a close person in our group who said that I was posting too much, but then I had other people telling me you need to post more. So is there like, I know there's probably a magic number and each party's different, but do you guys have like a base number of how many times you post a day or how many posts you're actually doing?
You know, I did the training today, and they said 5 posts per day is, and they did some type of research with like share and something else, and they said 5 times a day is like the status quo, but I don't know. I post a lot.
I do too. 5 times a day, and how many posts in those 5 times?
I thought they meant that they posted 5 times a day. If it's business, it's 5 times a day, but I do throw in family stuff, a funny cartoon. I don't just stick with business because I want them to see that it's fun and it's not just, I want your money, I want your business.
Right. Gray Spot said she posts funny stuff, as much funny stuff as product stuff. And the thing she's getting most interactive work on is when she posts, what's the worst thing to step on in the dark?
Oh, I saw that one.
Can I pop in with that real quick?
Yes, please.
Something I learned from Shelley is she'll post like at 8 o'clock, she'll post at 8, 8:01, 8:02, and 8:03. So a couple of posts, but she puts them so close together so that when they get the notification, that they're not getting 4 notifications, you know, every 15 minutes or whatever. They're just getting a notification at 8, and then they know they can go check and see some stuff. And then later in the day, she'll post 2 or 3 more, and then they'll get a notification once. So they're not getting bombarded with notifications because they're clustered like that. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, Shelley, how many posts are you doing?
Oh, well, since I taught Christine, that's what I'm doing. So it's at 8 a.m., noon, 4, and 8 p.m. And there's about 4 or 5 posts at each of those time frames, spaced 1 minute apart, so they only get 1 notification.
Awesome.
And then I have my hosts, because I do block parties, I'm feeding my hosts things and they're posting based on their schedule. Super interactive stuff. So my parties are just going nuts. So I think I had 110 in last week's block party.
Awesome.
Helps. Who else has a question for Michelle? We have a few minutes left. Please post the step in the dark image. I don't have an image for that, but we will now that Christine knows. That question was, please post the step in the dark image.
You don't have to have an image. You can just type it in and put one of those colorful backgrounds.
Pretty colorful background. Yeah.
I saw somebody today said your glasses, your phone. I thought that's not the worst thing to step on in the dark.
If I can ask.
Yes.
My next question is the same thing with how long are you running your virtual parties for? Are you going the full week? Are you doing, I've had anywhere from 3 to 4 days with a live. I've had 4 to 5 days, and I've had a full week. I haven't really had anybody stay there going past a week. Does anybody need the magic potion for that?
I do 5 days myself.
Yeah. Okay,
my party has 2 pre-party days, Friday and Saturday, and then it has 5 theme days. And then it wraps up.
Were you on a call with Roxanne Shep a couple weeks ago?
A little bit. I saw a little bit of it, yeah.
So she's another one that went kicking and screaming into the virtual world. Her sales last month were $35,044.
Her sales, not her team. And she.
Yeah, thank you. Her sales.
Yeah.
40 new bookings, 5 recruits. And she said that she reached out to people like Brittany Sunday and Becca Yawn and people who were doing this. So she said, you know, what do I do for this next step? Here's what she said that blew me away. She runs her parties Thursday through Monday, but the prior Thursday, she will open up that host party for a week-long invitation session. She said that is the biggest difference. And at her party, she has 80 to 100 people going. And her parties can run as high as $3,000 or $4,000. She does very little posting in that week. She might tell them to turn on their notifications or welcome, that kind of thing. And she, on her video, which is, I believe, in the PC team training, that blew me away. But she said if she had to identify one thing that made the biggest difference, it was giving them a week to invite. I always thought they'd get bored waiting that long. But
what's her name again, Michelle?
Roxanne Schupp, SCHUPP.
So a week-long invitation session. You guys all taking
Yeah.
notes on that? All
Yeah.
right.
And so her
Great.
video is on that, I believe, on that PC team training. So,
Star
you
says she
know,
does that.
we aren't just getting our PhD in this business, we're getting a postdoctorate degree. So, you know, pat yourselves on the back, because if this was easy, everybody would be doing it at this level where you are today. And as we embrace all this information we're being given, we have a chance to recreate our lives. Yep.
And a lot of other people's as well. Last one, we'll call on Diane before we turn off the recording, so we have a clean recording. Diane, go.
She's sleeping.
Oh, she froze. Are you still there, Diane?
Do you think 7 days is long?
Go watch her video and let her talk about how and why, because that we all like, what? Oh, and that was for Stephen. That was a pre-party. 7 days pre-party, just invitations. But she talks about how she tells them how to invite.
Okay. So go watch that video, everybody. And actually, so, I mean, really, there's so much content that we could share about doing parties and getting bookings. But I bet you got some gems tonight, just in this little short period of time. And then if you were taking good notes, you've got some steps that are going to be, you know, go and do that later. Go watch the book, block parties. Go check out Roxanne's video. Go, and then we should all on our on the Get the More You're Looking For, our director bound Facebook group, go back there and post your wows, post your ahas. If you go and find one of those videos, post it there. Help out your buddies. So we should have a lot of interaction going on in that page just as a result of this call, right? And by next Wednesday, we will do it again. I believe that we've got Miss Kelly on Wednesday, the 20th. Kelly, unmute for a second and tell us what your topic is next week.
What is this, the trick question?
Because I didn't recall. Sorry about that. I'm like, oh, shit.
I've got it. I've been working on it.
Aw.
Okay.
So it is host coaching and recruiting hosts.
And recruiting your hosts. Fabulous. So that's next Wednesday, the 20th, 5 o'clock Pacific time. And then I can barely stand myself. I am so freaking excited because on the 27th is our 4th call, and I get to share with you my onboarding process. So steps that we're taking for helping our new teammates get off to a super strong start. And guys, we added 12 last month. That was nearly a record. We've added already 4, maybe 5 so far this month. We've sold breaking every record. Every month we're breaking every record. And I attribute it to that onboarding, that strong onboarding. So that's
awesome. Awesome.
That's it. Cindy, what were you going to say? Nope, wasn't. Okay, did I miss somebody who?
Rachel.
Okay. Rachel. Yeah, it was Rachel.
Shelley, can someone do me the favor, because I'm Facebook illiterate? Can we possibly post our actual Zoom link for the meeting? Can we pin it somewhere? Because it takes me every week. I'm having to like.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a hard time finding it.
Okay, hang tight. It is pinned. It is pinned. It's an announcement. So when you are on the page, click announcements.
Okay.
And it says, for every call this month, and it says the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, the 27th, here is our Zoom link. So it's there.
It is pinned? Okay,
pinned.
it's the Facebook illiteracy in me. Okay,
That's okay.
And you know, we're halfway through.
They did change the terminology. They used to say you could pin things to the top of a group. Yeah. Now they are called announcements. Facebook loves to change. So thank you for asking that. I really appreciate it.
I was looking for the pin post, not an announcement.
Oh, gotcha. You know, we're halfway through this training.
Yeah, there we go.
50 more.
All right. I am going to officially end the recording. For those of you who need a refresher, just watch the recording. For those of you who missed the call, be sure that you go and give us feedback about this call. But I want to give you guys all a great big round of applause for being engaged and here and growing your businesses. We all benefit.
Yes.
We all benefit. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's fun.
Bye.
Thank you guys for being on. Bye.